Welcome aboard, Iron City Rail fans. You've tuned in to the Iron City Roundhouse Report, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating world of locomotives, rolling stock, and the rich history and current state of railroading. I'll be one of your hosts. My name's Brad Williamson, and our other host is my good friend Patrick Moore. And whether you're a seasoned model railroader, a history buff, or just someone who loves the sound of a passing train, you're in the right place. We're proudly affiliated with the Iron City N-Scale Facebook group, but don't let the name fool you. We cover all scales from Z to G and everything in between. We'll be exploring the vibrant railroading scene of western and central Pennsylvania, from the mighty steel giants of the past to the intricate layouts of today. Expect in-depth discussions, interviews with experts, and plenty of stories from the rails. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and enjoy the Roundhouse Report, a podcast of Iron City, by Iron City, and for Iron City. Good evening, Iron City N-Scalers, and welcome to the Iron City Roundhouse Report. I'll be one of your hosts this evening. I'm Brad Williamson, and I'd like to introduce my partner in crime and your other co-host, Patrick Moore. Come on in, Pat.
Hey, everybody. This is Pat Moore. So glad to be a part of our very first ever podcast with the Roundup Report with our Iron City brothers and sisters out there listening. And Brad and I, it seems like every year, come up with a new plan or a new page. And now we've come up with a podcast. So Brad and I are ready to get started, roll up our sleeves, and let's see what Brad and I come up with this year. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, I don't know if what we do can rise to the level of plan or not. It's kind of let's jump in with both feet and see where it goes. But I would say that served us fairly well so far. We just the amount of fun and camaraderie and friendships that we've been able to meet up with people. Just as a result of starting the Iron City N-Scale page. This, to me, is just another fun direction that we can go with that.
Yeah, and I think what the podcast is going to do is just take the page that we've already built and just kind of go with audio and like a question and answer, almost like if you're at the hobby store, answering questions and talking to people about the hobby, and just kind of making that more of another outlet of our page, so you can hear us and talk to us. Maybe when you're in the car, or if you're in the hobby room, or if you're at your layout working on something. This gives you another alternative to Iron City. And we've always talked about the different levels of Iron City members, from a beginner to a expert. And we're hoping that this podcast brings those folks onto our page, and those folks that are on our page become maybe guests in the future of our podcast. So, Brad and I are hoping that this podcast, we can talk about the nuts and bolts of the hobby, and we can really dig deep into uh, all the questions. We always say at the Iron City, we have all your your long answers to your short questions. So we're hoping to able to do that on this page. And some things that we're trying to do. A couple of the podcasts are no longer broadcasting that we used to enjoy. People were able to call in and maybe ask questions, or call in and kind of give updates. We want to be able to do that with our Iron City page. Our folks on our Iron City page, let's say we're doing a showcase. We want to be able to bring that showcase guy on, and maybe, or gal on, and interview them before the showcase, and so they can talk about what they're going to see, what you're going to see, and then that person can do their showcase, kind of give them a preview. That's just one of the things Brad and I are thinking about here as we do our roundup report.
Yeah, the thing for me is the amount of content that is released at Iron City N-Scale. It's like you're getting a new magazine, kind of new digital magazine, basically on a weekly basis. With the amount of people that we have there now, the amount of people who are just publishing some high quality content. We got guys like our buddy Phil Ellerbach, who's doing just some amazing things with 3D printing. our original group of guys. We got Tom Catalano, he's pretty much of an artist as far as 3D printing, but just so much other stuff. So many aspects of the hobbies. We got guys who talk about the electronics aspect of it, scenery aspect, and there's just so much ready-made content there that it's just we just have so much that we could come on here and talk about, and maybe people will be interested in it, maybe they won't, but I think it was time for us to give something like this a try. The other thing that I think is ready-made for this is some of the discussions that we have on the question of the week, which I was supposed to do this week and forgot, didn't I? But
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't going to go there, but yes, you didn't do it.
yeah, yeah. But some of the discussions that has started, I mean, you could make a podcast out of just one of those, oftentimes. So, um,
Yeah, and Brad, we talked about we're hoping to get those questions and read the answers that some people have brought, especially when we're doing like a lot of the theory questions. I think we did one a couple weeks ago, Brad, that really struck me pretty good. It's like, what industry is being underutilized in the
yeah,
hobby that is a big railroad industry in the prototype, but it's not being used in the hobby. And we had some great answers, and
yep,
I'm hoping to read those off our page and giving our listeners the ability to to think about that, and to trigger maybe more conversation down the road. But that's just one example, Brad. I think that's pretty good. The other thing, Brad, that we can talk about too in the future is, Iron City does a lot of events, and it'll be good to be able to kind of promote those events and talk about them, allow people to maybe a little bit more advance notice if we're doing something, and kind of go over a calendar with them, and kind of talk it up and explain to people what we're doing when we're doing it. If nothing else, if you can't be there, man, we'll just talk about what a good time we had,
yeah, yeah,
and try to
exactly.
get you to come to the next
Well,
one.
as we're recording this, this weekend coming up, we got the big event up at our buddy Todd Treaster's place in Burnham, Pennsylvania. The rally in Burnham, where it's kind of a combination of Todd's amazing basement empire layout with the Iron City T track, which is becoming pretty well known, at least in the Northeast region. I think we seem to draw a pretty good crowd wherever we set it up. So hopefully, and we got guys coming from all over North America to that. I know some of our guys that don't get to come up here too much from the South, like George Hall, a guy who's been here, by the way, basically from the beginning with us. So I'm really excited, George. If you're hearing this, it's probably you probably already happened, but I'll tell you right now, I'm excited that you and our good buddy, also from the South, Ben Horn, are making the trek up here to Central PA to hang out at Todd's and run some trains. That's what it's all about, is those kind of connections that you make with people. And it's great to do it online, but it's also great to be able to get together in person, like you mentioned, Pat, at these events that we have at Iron City.
And Brad, something different is we do a lot of shows where we're kind of just promoting the hobby. Um, we are at the Science Center. We're at a bunch of different shows during the year. The Science Center in Pittsburgh is a big one. We're
Oh yeah,
kind of just ambassadors to the hobby. There's the In Scale weekend where we're really just promoting In Scale weekend with everybody else. But a rally, we've decided, and we talked to our friend Kevin Squire when he designed, because he's our design guy. Kevin is, when we
yep,
designed this for the rally, we said, hey, this is an eternal event for the Iron City. We want to be able to do operations on our T track. And that's what he's built. And it looks
yeah.
great.
Oh, it's going to
Um,
be awesome. Yep.
and so, that's something I don't think a lot of people have talked about. Like, okay, can you build a T track and run operations on it and do like I'm sure there's club layouts and stuff like that do this. We as Iron City have never had the opportunity at this scale to just have a rally for ourselves, right?
Yep.
and just to run operations and to run long trains and just enjoy ourselves and not have to worry about, and it's not a bad thing to worry about, answering questions to the public and letting kids run the trains and showing people how the apps work on your telephone. But it'll be great just to be model railroaders 100%, you know what I mean?
Agreed. Yep.
And run it and be able to do operations and run the layout the way it was meant to be run. And I think the guys are going to have a blast this weekend. And for folks like me that can't make it, Kevin, Tom, and yourself, by the time this is broadcast out, you've already seen it, but you'll be able to watch it live on Iron City in scale page on Facebook. So that's one of the great things about the Iron City. If you can't make an event, we normally try to give you a live look in at least. A lot of times we do the tower cams
Yep.
on the layout, which is a lot of fun for me. I like to produce those tower cams and just let you look at the layout and let it run and see how things are going. So those are some events that are coming up and those rallies. I think that's something new for us, but I think we're going to try to do that a couple times a year at different locations. Um, and what's funny, Brad, is we have Iron City West out in LA. And
Yeah.
it's small, but it's getting there.
Yep.
We have Iron City out in Clem. Was he in? I can't remember if he's in Santa Fe or if he's in what part of the West he's in, but Clem's out there.
I'm not sure either,
Yeah,
but he Clem. I think it's Arizona maybe
right,
or
right.
New Mexico, one of the two. Yeah.
Yeah, we have Iron City, UK.
Yeah.
We have Iron City, Australia.
Yeah.
So it's everywhere, and we hope those folks that live in those areas. We have Iron City East, which is the Northeast. We have Iron City, which is Pittsburgh, and we have other folks, Iron City South, uh,
Hmm.
and we hope that those folks can all get together by chance or by plan, and run their rallies and enjoy themselves. One thing about the Iron City, Brad, that we really haven't got to talk about yet, and maybe we should a little bit for maybe people that maybe just found this by accident on the podcast, is we are a non-group group. We're a non-club club.
Yeah.
There's no fee. There's no president. There's no members. I mean, there's plenty of members. There's no president. There's no board members or anything like
There's
that.
no dues. There's no
There's
dues
no
that you have to pay to
dues.
be part of it. Yep.
No, no yearly fees unless you want to make the check out the cash and then hand that over to me. Uh,
That's
but
always fine. Yeah.
yeah, it's always fun. But what we found out is this works. I don't know how. I don't know why, but we all have had volunteers come to our group and have some kind of special skill set. They take those special skill sets and help us run an amazing event or an amazing, uh, uh, couple of days, maybe rail fanning or whatever we're doing.
Yep.
Because we've done it all. We've done everything from rail fan to have a conference to spend the night up at the Station Inn and have a go to the N-Scale convention in
Yep.
Altoona. We've kind of done it all without organization, and it seems to work.
That's
And
that's the amazing part of Iron City to me. I mean, if we had tried to plan this out, the growth path that it's taken, we would have mucked it up. I'm almost sure. It just grew organically on its own. We just happened to stumble on to the right group of guys that the original, I don't know, less than a dozen guys that we started out with, and it's like you said, the mixture of talents and skills in the hobby that those original guys had just made it take off. And we I mean, I'm not going to say that we haven't put any effort into it, but it hasn't really felt like that. It's been fun. It wasn't work. It was a lot of fun.
you,
And
Brad.
sorry, go ahead.
No,
What
go
were you going to
ahead.
say? I was
I was
back
going
to
to.
the layout that Kevin
Yeah,
described,
yeah.
that he designed for this the rally. It is going to be, as far as Iron City layouts are concerned, it's pretty unique. It's completely, fully operations based. We purposely looked for modules that had operational opportunities on them, sidings, yard. We got Kevin's yard there, but there's also a place in here. I don't want to give away too much, but it's kind of, well, this is going to air after the thing anyway. But the layout had an area where there was a single track with just like a runner track into Fran's big coal mine module. We've never had anything like that before. It was always your standard double track main line for T track, which is, I'm not knocking that. That's a lot of fun, and it enables a lot of people to just come and run trains. But this is, as you mentioned, set up for operations. And as much as it hurts me to do this, no, I'm just kidding. It doesn't hurt. But I got to give Kevin props for the layout plan he came up with. I think it is going to be really cool to operate on, and I'm looking forward to that. So nice job, Kevin. Are you there?
Yeah, Kevin sometimes is the guy behind the scenes, and I think people don't realize how much work Kevin does.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like it's like Kevin, just add water here, and boom, here comes the layout.
yeah. Because
And all the different
it's not
designs.
a yeah,
We've
right.
never had the same design
Yep.
twice on any of our shows. It's
Yeah,
great.
it is. It's not a trivial thing to put you're getting modules. Some of these times we've had what up to like, I think, didn't we have close to 20 different people? Well, not all of them had modules. Some of them just brought
No,
trains, but I mean, you're getting modules from a wide variety of people,
yeah.
many different designs, and
So
that's
I
the
think
thing
the
I've always
biggest
liked about our T track. It doesn't look like a patchwork quilt type thing.
right.
He's able to for the most part string scenes together to look pretty coherent, I think.
Yeah, I think the biggest one was when we tried to take over the Science Center exhibition hall. I think we got up to about 75, and they asked us politely, "You
Yeah,
can't have the whole thing." Remember there's other people here to exhibit, so we had
right.
to cut that down a little bit.
We did.
That's just outstanding work from everybody, and it just shows you. I got to tell you, it just shows you. Uh, this little side of the hobby, this little section of the hobby is becoming popular. And I think it's because it's space driven. You can build a little T track or a double, right?
Yep.
Or even a quad, right? And if people don't know what T track is, it's a sectional layout that you put together using the standards that T track has with Cato track, and I won't get into the standards right now. But and then in they're anywhere from 12, what, Brad? 12 inches by,
Yeah, it's roughly like the modules are rated according to whether they're a single
yeah,
size, double, triple, quad.
right.
Each one of those units is roughly a foot. It's actually metric. It's millimeters, but it's pretty close to a foot. So each.
Here's the thing: you don't need a Ford 250 with a pull trailer to take your module to the show. You can have a Kia Soul and still have room for 4 or 5 of them,
Or a Ford Fiesta.
or a Ford Fiesta.
I bring two.
Uh,
I bring
if
two double wide quad yard modules to the shows in my Fiesta, which is not much bigger than a shopping cart with a motor in the front. And yeah,
Right, I think
that's
the Ford Fiesta is the official, car of the Iron City model Iron City Model Railroader.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's become very popular. I think people, seeing if it's done right, the way Kevin does it, and he puts industry with industry, he puts, scenery with scenery, and mixes it very well. Um, that looks right, and it runs right, and you can get folks on there. And I think the great thing about us is, hey, you've been in, once you click onto that Facebook group, you're a member.
Yep.
And now we advertise that we're going to do an event, and you have a small box of trains. Let's say you've got one locomotive and 4 cars and a caboose, right? Or
Hmm.
not even a caboose. You're allowed to be on that layout.
Yep.
You're allowed to come to that show. You're allowed to run. You know,
Run what you brung. That's right.
right.
Yeah.
And guess what? All you have is a cell phone. You don't have a throttle, right?
Yeah.
Well, no problem. We walk you through how to download the app, right? And
Yeah.
within 7 minutes, you're running trains.
Yeah. And
I think that's the golden age of the hobby,
yep.
and that is keeps everyone inclusive from about 12. What our youngest member is 12. He's probably 13 now.
Yeah, he could
You
be.
know, 12 to 100, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so that allows everyone to be part of the hobby, and I think that is our magic elixir to keep the Iron City growing and keep us going. So I think that's we have many different branches to the Iron City, and I think this is one of our most popular one is the T track. It's not the only one, but I think it's one of our most popular parts of our group.
Yeah, I could tell you it was interesting when I first started off with these guys from Iron City East, which is it's basically the guys in the Clinton Central Model Railroad Club that I joined. Um, they wanted to have a T track layout at the show that they put on. I'm part of it now, so I should say we, but we put on two shows every year. And Mike Barnes, a president, approached me, and he had joined Iron City, the page, and asked me, would it be possible to have Iron City set up a T track layout at our show? And I said, well, yeah. And then, as we started talking about it at meetings, we found that there were some other guys that had T track modules that they had built, but I'm not sure that they had ever had the opportunity to run them. Put them in a T track layout. So we had that, and then a bunch of them, joined our Iron City page, and about 6 or 7 different ones would come up to me and say, "Hey, what do I have to do to be part of Iron City?" I'm like, "You joined the page, right? Yeah, you're already part." So
You're
we
in.
so we can run on the big layout. Yeah, absolutely. You can get to one of
Yeah.
the shows where we're at. The big shows that we do. The biggest ones are always the Carnegie Science Center and the Altoona N Scale weekend. But any of these shows that we do, anybody from Iron City is always welcome. Anybody that's on the Facebook page, even if you have a friend who's thinking about joining. Obviously, people who aren't on the page aren't going to know that there's an Iron City event, but if they want to come and check it out, and I wouldn't have a problem handing them a phone and here you go, run a train.
Right. Hey, Brad. This being our very first podcast, I thought we'd turn the page a little bit and talk a little bit about what the listeners could basically know what's coming up, maybe, or what our thoughts are, what this podcast is going to be, and what we think we're going to bring to the podcast. And I think one thing that you and I had talked about, and we can talk about this a little bit more, is really answering people's questions about everything from DCC. I know you and I have talked to different aspects of DCC and what we think it works for a lot of people. I think Brandon, you and I talked about maybe reviewing new products as they come on. New locomotives, or review, have folks come on and maybe review what's working for them.
Yeah.
Little tricks of the trade. I think you and I talked about that. We also, Brad, we talked about interviewing people. You and I are big in scalers,
Yep.
um, but we're not going to handcuff ourselves to that. We are going to let everyone come on from different scales, um, and talk about their techniques. Yeah. We've had people on with S scale doing showcases on the Iron City.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that. We know that garage door openers, electric garage door openers, and windows are probably not going to be on that too many of in scale.
Although, although the guy that did that, if he hears you say that it's not going to be possible, he'll take that for as a dare, and don't be surprised if you see it someday.
That's right. But you know what I mean? Like, you can learn. I guess what I'm trying to say is you can learn a lot from listening to others in different scales. There's always something to learn,
Oh yeah.
and I hope we can bring that to our podcast, and I hope in the future to be able to talk to folks that might be cutting edge. And as we talked about those questions that we bring to our page weekly, there's been some great discussion about dead rail. Where's the future of that? The self-charging locomotives. Would they have the power to pull, 30, 40 box cars or cold drags or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, what's the future of DCC? You and I, of course, are on different sides of the river on this. I'm a DCCX guy. You're an NCE guy, and you beat me across the brow with uh, you win most arguments, I must admit. And then I say my fleet is DC, and you're like, okay, you got me there.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah, with
yeah,
someone who's got a mixture of DC and DCC, it's
yeah.
perfect.
But
If you
I hope we can start talking that language to someone that's brand new to the hobby, and almost have almost have, not a clinic, Brad, but maybe we'll be able to talk to folks, and they'll be able to stand a little bit more, bringing guests on, and having discussions about these different types of things that are going on in the hobby. And
Yeah.
I hope, and that's what we do on our page, and I
Yep.
hope we can do that on our podcast.
Yeah, and if you're an Iron City member listening to this right now, there's nothing to prevent you from being on here. We plan on drawing, very heavily from the ready-made group of outstanding people that we have, as part of the Iron City Facebook page. That's a great resource for us to tap to create content here with this podcast. And you guys, anybody listening can probably tell we definitely don't have everything figured out down to the T yet. We've got some ideas, we've got some things that we want to try, but literally the sky's the limit. Just like you were saying with Iron City N Scale, we don't like to put limits on it. You're a experienced model railroader. Come on with us. You don't know the first thing about model railroading, but you're interested. Come on in. You want to be an S scaler. You want to be an O scaler. You want to have a garden. You want to be a one or that whatever the live steamers, the ones that they build the big trains that they ride on. If it's a model train, if it's model railroading, we do not restrict anything like that from the Iron City Facebook page. And also, the other thing that we really haven't talked about yet is it doesn't have to just be modeling. We've got industry professionals in our group too that work for the railroads, and we've got people who know a lot about railroad history. That is definitely fodder for part of the discussion. So this is going to kind of grow organically, just like the Iron City webpage did, and uh, like I said, we don't know if it's going to take off or not, but Pat and I have been talking about maybe trying something like this, and what have you lost if it doesn't work out? But I just with the people, and I don't just mean you and I, with the people that we have at Iron City, it's with that group of guys, it's hard to imagine anything not working out. So I'm pretty excited about this.
I'm super excited. You can't. When we first started our page, we started with 10 people, and I would used to email people personally and ask them would they like to join the Iron City page in a
Yeah,
message.
yeah,
And now we're up to over 1,900 members, and I can't even keep up with it. And I have an AI automatically weekly send out a thank you notice for our members coming in. So,
yeah.
uh, and
Well,
there are
we
so
had
many
we
people
had to
out there.
develop a system for that because
Yeah,
the
yeah,
number of people that we had joining there for a while, if you were posting an individual welcome on the page for every person, and that ended up being like over half of the entire content for the week. And we wanted to be able to, not that greeting people isn't important, but so the process that we developed is we came up with a welcome message, and you do that thing where you post all the new members, and then I just take it and send out the welcome message to all of them, and I think it's been working out. We've had
dude.
a pretty positive reactions about that, and so yeah, it did. Things have changed pretty drastically from those early days. I can remember months where we thought we were doing good if we had 5 new people in a month, and
Absolutely.
fast forward, and the thing is, what was it? 2021, the very
Yes.
beginning.
Yes.
2021. That's 4 years. We're coming up on 4 years, and
Yeah.
now we're to the point where we think something's wrong if we get less than. I mean, I would say 20 new people per month is a low number at this point.
Absolutely,
It
yeah.
it
And
it ebbs and flows, um, but
our international market is growing too, and I kind of enjoy to see that because what we're starting to see is layouts from other countries, but it's in scale.
yeah.
And I'm enjoying that, and to see how other people are doing and what they're doing, and some of the stuff the Cato modeling are doing in Japan and everything is just amazing. And
It
there's just
is.
some very large layouts over there.
And those,
Um,
and then the other end of it is those tiny little, they're tiny little modules, um,
yes.
because some of their, in their big cities, the population's huge, so they build upward, and some people live in fairly small apartments, but it amazing the quality of the scenery in just a small space that they're coming up with over there. I agree.
So, Brad, I just wanted to go over a little bit too, while we're closing up here for the night. And it's our first podcast, just to go over our page real quick.
Okay.
Hey, we are the Iron City in scale page, and we have several different things that we do during the month. One is we have a cover photo contest once a month on our page. We have it's called Let's Talk Trains. It's our call in. It's a Zoom call. Normally we have that every other week based off of our calendar, but that switches because we have this thing called the Iron City Showcase. Now, the Iron City Showcase is when we bring a modeler in and he basically does a Facebook Live of their layout, and they walk us through their layout or their operating session for that layout. And that's a very popular event that we have. And that's a season that goes from basically September to May, and then we take the summer off. So we have that. We have this thing called Iron City Clinic that went off went off pretty well last winter. We had a couple of clinics that we were supposed to have this year. These are all virtual. Unfortunately we weren't able to put those together this year. Had some cancellations and some reschedules, but I'm still trying to get a clinic, and those are virtual, and these are all on the Iron City page. And then of course we have our Iron City meets, and we also have our and our events, and we have our rallies, and then we have our shows, and
And
so
remote ops we do sometimes too.
and we have remote ops, and then we also once you join the Iron City, if there's nothing scheduled for that night and you would like to go live and just show your layout that night, or if you just want to do a recording and post it to your layout, it's we actually encourage that.
And it
So
doesn't matter. It does not have to be anything even close to a finished layout. That's
no.
that's kind of how Pat and I met.
Yeah.
we were on,
Yes.
we were on somebody else, our good friend from Plano, Texas, Steve McCune. We had that's where we met, on Steve's page, and Pat was always like, "Hey, let's see some see some layout videos." And I said, "Well, at this time, this was what, probably back 2018, 2019, maybe
Yeah,
somewhere."
yeah,
It's like, my North Penn layout was 80% blue foam, and Pat's like, "Oh, that's okay. Let's see the videos." So I did, and we just had our good buddy, and one of our younger Iron City guys, Blake George, did a really really good, I thought, showcase with his um, Thomas, the Isle of Sodor layout that he's got with all, Thomas and friends engines, and he doesn't have that fully scenic yet, but
no.
it still was cool, and you could see just from what he had set up where he was heading with stuff. And so, nobody's layout is not good enough, to do a showcase. If you have something you want to show us, we'll have an audience for you. It's just that simple.
And the idea is within a year, we like to circle back around and do another showcase with you to see how things are updated. I know Jimmy Braun, we've done maybe two or three with him over the last couple of years as he continues to create and build to his layout. We follow up with those showcases. It's so great to see people's layout as it evolves, and it's a good time to see those layouts, and
Yep.
and it also gives great ideas. You're like, hey, I didn't think of that.
Yep.
This is perfect. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Speaking of Jimmy Brom, there's an HO guy.
yeah, right.
Chief. I mean, he
Yeah.
does do T-Track too, which is N scale, but he's got a really cool work in progress of the Wheeling and Lake Erie in HO scale that he's shared with us, 2 or 3 times, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
So Brad, this is probably closing up on our first
Yeah.
podcast. I'm not sure how it went, but it went right.
I'll let you know when I listen to it tomorrow. Here's the
Okay.
other thing that just entered my head. I know how to push the stop button, but I'm not sure where this software is saving these recordings. So I
Okay.
hope we still have access to this.
Me too.
If we don't, nobody will know. If we do, then
Okay.
everybody will know we weren't sure. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, and like we both said, just looking forward to seeing what the future might hold for this, and who we might get on here with this. The sky's the limit, and that's always a fun thing to be a part of.
And if you want to ask us any questions or have any suggestions or topics for the Roundhouse Report, you just have to go to our page on Facebook, Iron City N Scale, type in to Brad and myself or message us and just say, hey, we'd like to hear about this topic, or hey, we want to hear this person. And we'll try to get you on there.
If you yourself would like to be on,
Yeah.
send us a message and say, hey, I have this or project going on, or I have questions I'd like to ask somebody. We could have 2 people on and get an expert in the area where again, there's no limits. There were no artificial limits that we're putting on this. No artificial colors or flavors or limits are being put on this podcast. So, if you want to be a part of it, if you want to be a listener, if you want to be a participant, we are pretty much open to anything at this point.
That's right. And I'm looking forward to many more podcasts. And Brad, let's do this, man. Let's have a great beginning to what I'm hoping is many years of podcasting.
Likewise, my friend. That's what I'm hoping for too. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for spending some 36 minutes of your time with us on our first attempt. And like we said, we're looking forward to what the future might hold. So at this point, we're going to sign off and say good night. And thank you for joining the first episode of the Iron City Roundhouse Report. The Iron City Roundhouse Report. I almost screwed up our name, Pat.
Good night.
All right, rail fans, that's all the steam we've got for this edition of the Iron City Roundhouse Report. Until next time, keep those gauges green, your couplers connected, and may your layouts always run smoothly. Happy railroading.